In the 60s up to 70s, probably we had the best design ever. That was the moment. And probably we never had a better design, period, in my opinion.
Hi, everyone. Welcome to the Car Chat podcast. I'm Sam Moores. And with me today, I have Riccardo Quaggio. Hello.
Good morning to everybody.
Good morning. Can you tell the listeners a little bit about who you are and what you do?
So, I'm a designer, basically. I was a designer for AlfaRomeo. And in 2018, I decided to build a car that seems an Alfa-Romeo, but is not an Alfa-Romeo because it's a reimagined Alfa-Romeo. And was always my dream, build a car. And basically we build cars. One car every month at the moment. And we are building 40 cars.
Nice. So, how did this begin? I guess interested in cars from a young age, pursued car design, and then at what point did you decide, actually, I kind of want to take a turn?
It's a very fun story because I started, as I told you, as a designer. I worked for Honda at the beginning after my university. And then I decided to go to Alfa Romeo because I always loved Alfa Romeo, Ferrari, Italian brand. So, and when I started to work, I immediately realized that that was not my dream. So, in Alfa Romeo, with like all big company, always a project. They start, they delete, they postpone, they change ideas. So I didn't saw the end, my sketch or my concept during the year that I was a designer for Alfa Romeo. And also in that period, there was some problem because Marchione died in June 2018. And started in that period the Stellantis group with the PSA and FCA group joined together. So I was not so happy of my job in that period. So I decided to leave. In reality, was 15 of July. I leave my job and with the idea to build an Alfa Romeo, a reimagined Alfa Romeo. The Restomod was in Italy. There wasn't cars. Was probably just the Lancia, Delta Futurista was just launched in that period. And the Restomod was not so famous like now.
Yeah.
So I said, oh, wow, why we don't build why I don't build like an Alfa Romeo reimagined? Because in my opinion, that Alfa, the Giulia GT, is a car that you can change everything, but at the same time is the same car. It's very a very simple design. Not a lot of cars in the world, in my opinion, has this kind of design, like just the Porsche and the Alfa GT. Because if you change, I don't know, on a Lamborghini, everything is not anymore a Lamborghini.
Yeah.
So I started with this car because I really love Alfa Romeo at the beginning, and also because it's a car that you can change really all the details and you recognize immediately that it's an Alfa Romeo. So in 2018, I wanted to do a Restomod. And I started with the electric project because in that period, it seemed that the electric was the future of the automotive. All people was talking about electric cars. So I said, okay, there are no nice electric car in the world. There is Tesla or Mercedes or... I wanted to do something nice so people can enjoy a nice car, electric, with a good shape. So this was the idea of the project at the beginning, and also because there was AlfaRomeo with the Restomod of the Giulia GT. So I wanted to do something different from AlfaRomeo, and little by little, I designed in 2018, 2019, up to 2020. Me and my small team. We started with the restoration. We modified the suspension. We modified a lot of parts, but was still based on the Alfa Giulia GT.
Yeah.
And during my presentation in 2020, people say, "Okay, nice, it's beautiful. The design is beautiful, but the car is too heavy. It's too small." Also, there was a battery pack of 53 kilowatt hour, so it's not a lot of range.
Yeah.
For an electric car, like 200, 250 kilometers, more or less. So it's not a daily use car. And if somebody wants to drive an electric car, they want to use daily, as it's not a car for a weekend. So in 2020, I realized that maybe the project has to be changed. And for this reason, I started to redevelop the car again from scratch this time. So we made the car bigger to make more space for the battery, to be more comfort, to be more be a car that you can use really daily. Because I don't want to say that it's like a Tesla, because it's not like a Tesla. But if you want to do 1 million of kilometers with this car, you can do. With a Restomod, I don't know if you can. So we have designed everything on the car. The chassis, that we have a carbon fiber monocoque. We have designed the suspension, that is a lot of parts that are billet aluminum parts. The steel rack, the electric motor, the battery pack, it's all developed from scratch. And this because I wanted to have my components on the car. And this, for us, is very important, because if we have some problem in the future, we are able to understand what is the problem, and we can solve the problem immediately. And looking for other projects, I know that they use battery pack from other cars, components from other car, and this, especially on the electric conversion, is not always a nice solution. This is my point of view, of course. In 2021, so 3 years ago, I say, okay, but I didn't sell a car in Italy. I sold a car all around the world, but not in Italy.
Yeah.
So, talking with some Italian guys, say, "Oh, yeah, you have put the wrong engine."
Yeah.
I want this car. So I say, okay, we have enough space. Let's start to develop also a petrol version. But for the same reason of the electric component, I say, I want to put my engine on this car.
Okay.
Not engine from other car. So we have developed also the engine from scratch.
Okay.
Yeah, and so
no base from anything.
Nothing.
Not even a block.
We have just the GDI pump from Ferrari. That's
Okay.
it. That are two small components for the. But all car is made from scratch. Also the engine, because of course the engine is the heart of the car, and I totally understand that probably the Busso engine or the twin turbo 2.9 liter from Alfa Romeo or the Maserati engine are always a good engine too. But imagine to have 40, 50 cars all around the world and change some parts. You never know, because you know your components and you're not able to offer a good after-sale opportunity, like yeah, the control of everything in this case. So it's our engine, our ECU, our parameters, and we can calibrate the car as we want and also as the customer wants. At the end of the story, I sold 0 car in Italy. So all around the world, in Taiwan, in China, in Mexico, in Brazil, everywhere, except Italy. So
yeah. Wow. Okay. So this process of developing all of the parts, surely this is like quite involved. Like if you're going to make your own engine from the ground up, like how do you go about that? How do you even start that process?
It was very complicated because it's not only about the engine, it's about all the regulation that we need to respect, because now it's considered like a new car. So we needed to be compliant with the EU emission. So Euro 6 emission, the ECU has to be Euro compliant. And I found a good partner that helped me to develop everything, because imagine that you have to do molding, you have to do all the blocks from scratch. So it's super, super complicated. And we spend 3 years to develop every day and night, Saturday, Sunday, to finish the cars. At the moment, we are at car number 13. So we are delivering number 9, but it's the number 13 on the production. And we are always looking to improve the car every day. Every car has to be better, better, and better. And especially what I'm looking for is the best comfort as possible, because this, then an Alfa so is not a racing car. So even if the engine is very, very powerful, this car has to be is a Gran Turismo. GT means Gran Turismo. So has to be good to drive in the city, like a 30 kilometers per hour, or in the mountain, the hills. Okay, if you go in the truck, okay, no problem. But that is the difficult part of my job. Vibration, little vibration, noise, little details that is not like a big production car. So being handmade and Gran Turismo,
it's tough.
At the moment, I don't know how many other company is doing this.
Yeah.
The doors, like more complicated than the engine, in my opinion, is the door. We did the doors 4 times, 4 time molding, 4 time everything, because we have a lot of components installed. So electric windows, electric lock and lock, all electric mirror too, heating on the mirror. So it's all. And imagine that the doors is made from scratch, the handle is made from scratch, the locking is made from scratch. So all components that other cars, for example, the Restomod is easy because they use the door that is original, the lock is original, the handle is all original, and the mirror, probably the chainsaw cover on the mirror.
That is interesting. I can't remember who it was I spoke to, but I remember talking. I've spoken to someone else, and they said making a door is like so hard.
It's so hard, yes. It's harder than the engine, in my opinion. Really. Because if the engine is very well designed, the parts are there. So you can assemble and it's done. But the door is more artisanal, in my opinion, than there are a lot of things that you can make it run.
Yeah. And you want everyone to just go chunk when you shut it. Yeah. So there's nothing, unlike a standard sort of Restomod that you might see from any manufacturer, where they've kept a certain percentage of the original car, and therefore they don't have to do all of the new tests and regulations and all that sort of stuff. Is everything on your car is new?
Yeah.
So do you have to do crash testing and stuff like that, or is it?
I did a crash test. So for the electric, we did the AMC test, so electromagnetic test, the ACR 100 test for the battery. So we have destroyed like 6 battery pack with tests of fire, of water, vibration, everything. We did the pedestrian impact. That is more difficult than the crash test. Crash test is just okay, but for the pedestrian impact, it is now a new regulation for Europe of 2022-23. You need to have all the front that has to be collapsible. No, the word in English, and that is very complicated.
Yeah. What sort of thing do you have to change to pass that? Because I know lots of I think it's probably because you make less cars, it's slightly different rules. I guess like someone like Caterham in the UK.
We have homologated the car like a small series, so we can build like 180 cars maximum. It's similar to the Ferrari one-off, for example, the small series of a Ferrari like SP1, SP2 is all homologated like small series like me.
And so what sort of things did you have to do for that crash? Like, does everything have to be much softer at the front, for impact?
The impact is the pedestrian. So the position of the lights, the headlight, the position of the components in the front is very important. The radius of the body, I don't know if you have for example, we was obliged to change the grille in the front because the radius of the small dots that we had on the electric was not okay for Europe. So a lot of little details that are very, very complicated. So this picture is from the original Restomod.
Okay, so I'm currently, for those that are listening, I'm just looking on the Instagram page, and so this is the normal sort of sized one.
Yeah, exactly.
And then it got bigger. How much bigger is, like, in terms of width and stuff, is the car now?
10% bigger.
10%.
Yeah. So this was still another prototype.
I remember seeing one. It was a few years ago now, and it was at Quail. I think one of your cars was on Ogara, maybe?
One red. The Quail, there was one red. Was a prototype with the V6 engine. But
yeah, you're right. Like, you just look at it and you go, that's an Alfa, like GTA. And then you go, hang on, it's a bit bigger. Like, there's something, I know it's a bit bigger.
It's another car. So the dimension is more or less like a BMW M2. And the oldest version is similar to a Fiat 500, the new one.
Okay, yeah.
So imagine that the older was a 3 meter, 0.98.
Okay,
probably the new Citroen C3.
Yeah.
Something
small,
like a small car. And now is 4 meter, 37, 38. So more or less close to a BMW M2.
Yeah.
The BMW M2 is a really small car at the end.
So that gives you a lot more interior space. Did you have to, as part of it, do you then have to have a lot more sort of side impact protection and all that sort of stuff?
Yeah, we did side impact protection because we have a 3-point seatbelt, not 4-point. So it's a normal seatbelt. So for that kind of seatbelt, you need the side impact protection. So also we put some airbag for the dashboard that you are obliged to put the 2 airbag minimum. So this was very complicated too. An ABS system too. A lot of things that the Euro 6 emission is very, very complicated. Really a lot complicated.
And in your cars at the moment, what's been the sort of split in terms of sales of, you did, and you still have some electric ones, but now you get this, is it a twin turbo V6?
You mean, so 70% of our customer is buying petrol and 30% electric. That is okay because at the end, people want to have the car, of course, with the passion.
I get it.
But also, if, for example, for all the people that tried the electrical, they really love the electric. This is the point. Because it's very easy to use. Of course, you don't have gearboxes. But if I need to use the car every day, I don't choose a petrol version because it's working better.
Yeah.
When I say like less vibration, less parts, no service. You have a lot of power anyway. The car is more comfort. Also, the suspension we have changed with petrol and electric. We put more comfort dampers on the electric and more racing dampers on the petrol. So I really love the electric morality.
Yeah.
If I have to choose from a Tesla to a GT, of course.
Yeah.
Which kind of electric car are you want, if you want to buy an electric car? I don't know.
I have a little electric car that's like my town car. It's a little Peugeot, a little E208, and it's great. Like I actually really like. People are sort of surprised because they're like, "You're into cars, you're petrol head, you like racing, whatever, all this sort of stuff." And I mean, yeah, but around town, a little electric car is brilliant. It's just so good.
Yeah. If I don't know, imagine that you are. Of course, this is an expensive car. We can do this. With the price of the production of the other cars. But imagine if you have a lot of money and you want to use an electric car to use daily in the city. Yeah, this is perfect. My personal opinion, because there is nothing else that you can buy at the moment.
No, nothing like this. No,
we have a good air conditioning system, good heating system, fast charging system. So there is everything. Space in the front, in the rear.
Oh, have you got boot space in the front?
Yeah, the front, in the rear, and behind the seat.
Oh, loads. Yeah. What was the hardest part about developing the EV version?
The hardest part was the charging system. And I'll tell you why. Because it's something that you buy normally. Is the socket that you have to install on the car. You buy because there are two producers in the world that are working good. Mm-hmm. The car to work with CCS is called the CCS charging system. So the fast charging, you need to have a lock, a pin that lock the system. And normally all the automotive brand produce this small pin from scratch.
Okay.
And the company that was selling us the socket said, "Oh, don't worry, we have ours. It's working perfect. And don't worry, that will be okay." So we installed this pin of locking, and that was plastic.
Okay.
Used 50 times, and it broke.
Oh no!
I called the company and say, "You are a huge company. It's possible that you are selling me something that is every time broken." "Oh no, it's impossible. We are sure that you're wrong, etc., etc." So we produce this small pin from scratch with aluminium, billet aluminium, all the mechanics is everything very complicated. Imagine 0 time that it broke. 0 time.
That's mental. That that's
and
the
it's a small
situation.
pin that probably cost, I don't know, €5. I don't know.
Yeah.
But it's a plastic pin that on the charging, the CCS is very heavy. The gun that you install, the plug. And every time we broke. But in that way, the charging doesn't work. And then if the charging doesn't work, you have a lot of problem with the battery, with the balancing, with everything. So at the end, we build it.
Yeah.
So if somebody is building an electric car and there's some problem with the pin of the charging, please contact me. I will help.
Yes, yeah. We will work on some supply. Have you had, and did you have issues with? I hear sometimes that some cars have issue with the communication. People plug in their car, it's not charging. They think it's the charger's not talking to the car. That stuff.
That is a very nice question, because the problem so we tested in more than 200 column the CCS, because when you have your charger, normally you don't have problem.
Yeah.
When you go on CCS, because on our car there is single phase or CCS. Mm-hmm. There is no 3-phase, because we have decided to don't put a 3-phase charging system, because it's 100 kilos more at the end.
Okay.
And make no sense.
It doesn't really matter.
If you have time, you charge in 13 hours. If you are in a hurry, in half an hour, you charge full the car. And it's okay. So in the new generation of CCS system, zero problem. In the older one, sometimes happen that there are some problem of communication, because at the older one, so I think maybe are broken, I don't know. But normally I try to go to charge with the new on the new current system. There is a nice application on Apple Store. It's called Electromaps, and they wrote you, it's charging, not charging is good.
Okay.
So that is very nice for the people that choose electric car. But it's very complicated anyway, because sometimes, really, I'm thinking who use the car every day with CCS. It's not easy. You need to be a little bit smart to understand how to put the information.
You're always like checking the phone, seeing what's working.
It's working. It's a mess. So I hope that for the future they change this. I really hope. And I really hope that for example, in US, in China, and in Europe, the communication is totally different. In China, they use CHAdeMO. In Italy or Europe, they use CCS Type 2. In UK too, so it's good, because we tested also in UK. But in US, they use Type 1. That is totally different.
Yeah, because is that like the Tesla one?
No.
That's different.
Tesla, totally different one. That is only for Tesla, for example.
Yeah.
And I can't use it because it's not a Tesla, so use like the SIM of Mercedes, Audi, BMW, etc. And it's totally different. So sometime we had some problem to make the software make good for US market or for China.
Yeah, because I knew that the US they weren't all before, but like now a lot of CCS. I didn't realize it was a different CCS that we have in Europe.
But in US, for example, they are smarter than Europe. That locking pin is totally different in US than Europe.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And in US, you can't have that problem, because it's not male, it's female. So it's different. You have a button and you press the button, yes or no. So they should put the CCS Type 1 in Europe, in my opinion. That's it. Yeah. That would be the solution of the problem of the people.
like cables. You USB-C or whatever. It should just be the same, like everywhere. Find the best one. Yeah, that is a headache.
But let's talk about good cars anyway.
Yeah.
With the engine up.
Yes. So all I can think at the moment is like how, because you don't make many cars, like the development to do all of the things you've done, that is so much effort, time, presumably money, and then to like not sell that many cars. How have you gone about that?
Yeah, like it's a very complicated question because, of course, we try to use the car a lot. Since 2022, I did 2 testing cars, one petrol and one electric, and we have tested everything in all conditions, and we are still testing. So, for example, to some customer, we ask, okay, try your car. If we want to learn also from the customer to improve the car, because for us it's very important, and maybe for somebody, for example, I had a customer that didn't like the air conditioning system. There was just one on-off, so we have developed all the mechanism with different temperature of air conditioning system. Seemed easy, but from scratch is very complicated.
Yeah.
So we started that. For example, the dampers, I didn't tell you how many times we have changed the dampers on the car. Like probably 10 times. So.
Yeah.
Because I wanted more comfort every time. But when you have more comfort, also it changes a lot. Exactly, the role of the car. So it's always a balance between the comfort and so we need to change also other parts.
Yeah. Did you have like a sort of a car in mind or something that you were aiming for in terms of, let's say with the combustion cars, like what sort of levels of experience were you aiming for? You're like, oh, okay, I want the refinement a bit like this.
So in my opinion, the BMW about the dampers is very good. It's really very good. And this is, I want to arrive on that level.
Yeah.
For they have the best compromise between sport and comfort with dampers on the BMW. The steering, my favorite, in my opinion, is the AlfaRomeo Giulia. The steering rack. It's very precise. And the company that did for us the steering rack is a company in Turin, because we made from scratch the steering rack completely. We have tried to make a similar sensation on the car.
Okay.
And imagine that we develop a system with how can I say, an hydraulic steering rack with a CAN bus pump that when depending on the curve, the pump is going more power or less power to you.
Okay.
So it's very, very precise and very weak. And this is something that not a lot of cars have.
So do you have more at low speed and less at high speed? Or
yeah, so we have, if you rotate, you turn more the steering, you have more power than when you rotate less. At higher speed, you have less power than lower speed. And also with the traction control, for example, we have developed all the traction control from scratch with ABS and the steering. And in that case, the car, you have 640 horsepower.
Yeah.
It's hard to drive when you have no control.
Yeah.
So develop a traction control that works exactly as you want. It's very nice.
Yeah. And how have you approached that? Have you gone for sort of like a couple of settings or like an adjustable dial or?
No, we have 3 settings. so we have 12 setting for the ABS system and three setting for the traction management system.
Yeah.
So you can have more, less, or almost zero. Because my purpose is always an AlfaRomeo, this car. So when you have all these settings that you can adjust the car as you want, that is very important for me. The dampers were 64 setting of the damper. That is a lot. Crazy.
Yeah.
But you can really build a car that you want. Of course, that you spend time because, let's try this, but it's also nice with the customer to do some tests together. I would like to have the car a little bit softer on the compression, but harder on the extension, on the bump down, rebound, etc. So it's nice. And I think it's, how can I say, it's very different from the concept of the Restomod. This is not a Restomod, and it's something, probably is the new generation of Restomod. People will be tired, in my opinion, the next years about the Restomod. You see, they do Restomod of everything at the moment.
Yeah, everything, yeah.
But at the end, what is the sense of all this Restomod? A car that... so I more close the approach that I want to build a car you can use really daily, that you have zero problem, and is something that is similar to the past, but with a futuristic idea of that is very complicated to explain. But I don't know if you can understand.
Yeah, I get it. Like you want kind of like it looks like an old car. It's got the styling. It's got some cool stuff, but it's like a modern car in the sense if you just turn it on, it works. It's got a good sound system. You can drive it everywhere, that sort of stuff.
I really love, for example, the Singer DLS or the Roof. Yeah, our car is very similar to Roof, the Yellowbird, the new one. Also, they have a carbon fiber monocoque. They have it's very similar, the idea. And that is not a Restomod, the Roof at the end.
No, it's like a new car, yeah.
Yeah, so it's a similar car.
So developing the car, now you've gone for this this engine, the twin turbo engine. What were you sort of aiming for? Did you do a few versions?
So yes, because the engine is very powerful. It's built by Italtecnica, and we take a lot of inspiration by Formula One. So what we have a double injection system, direct and indirect injection system. We have a Formula One injection system. It's all a carbon fiber plenum, so you can see inside the engine, and no other engine are like that. Is something unique. Is the lightest V6 twin turbo in the world. So just to explain you, the Maserati MC20 is 230 kilos, the engine. We have 168 kilos.
Whoa.
So 50 kilos less.
That's a lot less.
A lot less, yes. It's dry sump engine. So, of course, the oil tank is separated, and the position of the turbo is very particular and very close to the engine, because the engine is, you can see in this picture, it's completely close to the firewall. So,
it's pressed right up.
Yeah, that help a lot the weight distribution. We have a transaxle gearbox that is from Ferrari, so it's the only part that we don't produce.
Yeah.
But I'm thinking to produce by myself my gearbox because I'm not so happy with the gearbox. So we have the Ferrari gearbox on the rear, the tank of the rear, that is 65 liter of tank, so
Mm-hmm.
pretty much good for this kind of car.
Yeah.
And the balance is exactly 50-50.
Oh, nice.
So you have to develop everything to make sure that the car is perfect. So imagine that. Develop the best steering rack. For me,
Yeah.
the best steering rack, suspension, and the engine from scratch. You can build, in my opinion, your dream car.
Mm.
And this was always my purpose since the beginning.
Yeah. And with the engine, you have two versions?
Yes. So now we are developing an engine with 800 horsepower.
Okay.
Yeah. So we started to thinking the car with 1,000 horsepower. At the beginning, to have no problem.
Yeah.
The car, we test the car with up to 296 kilometers per hour. That is the maximum for our gearbox.
Okay, that's quite fast.
We can do more. We have 0 to 100 in less than 3 seconds, and it's 0 to 200. It's similar to the new Porsche GT3 RS.
Oh, okay.
So very fast. Having
pretty fast.
A manual gearbox that is crazy. So it seems a lot faster when you are more than 100 from 100 to 200.
And have you found now developing the 800 horsepower version? What have your customers tended to choose? Have they previously gone 600 is fine, or they're like, I want 1,000?
All the customers choose the version with 640 horsepower, and we are developing this racing version just to build maybe some 5 or 6 cars. We don't know at the moment. At the moment, we are producing one, which will be present next year at the tail, and then let's see what will happen. At the moment, it's still a developing car. So we have presented the concept at the Geneva Motor Show this year in February. Now we're building the production, the first production, and then let's see. And I want to see how is different the approach, because we are trying to build a car that is more track oriented, and let's see what happens, and let's see what the people think, because we're changing the gearbox. In that case, we're changing a lot of parts. Also, the suspension is totally different. The steering is more not PK, more direct, more racing oriented. That's it.
Yeah. And what do your cars weigh?
It's 1,300 kilos, more or less, the Pepper version, and 1,500 the latter one.
Okay.
Of course, it's not super lightweight, the car, but we have air conditioning system, all the components to be Euro approval. So the seats is homologated, so it's not super lightweight. You have canister, you have a lot of parts normally you don't need on a car, on a Restomod, but we are obliged to put because it's a new car.
And you've got all the safety because of that.
It's for the safety. So 1,300 kilos for 640 horsepower. Trust on me, that is fun.
Yeah, definitely. And so you're delivering customer cars now?
Yeah, we were delivering car number, as I told you before, we are at number 13 at the moment, and we're delivering number 9. So
nice.
We are building one car every month, and expect next year to arrive to one car every week. But it's very complicated.
Yeah. What's the difficulty in that scaling up of speed? What's the biggest hurdle?
The suppliers.
Okay.
The supplier are very complicated now because I can organize my company, but I can't organize the other company.
Yeah.
So all the components to have take a lot of time and a lot of money, of course, because when you need to order, you can't order like only one component. You need to order like for 10, for 20, or maybe for 100 cars, because there are some supplier that doesn't accept two parts. You need 100, 1,000, I don't know. And that is very, very complicated.
What was and then presumably that's difficult because you're like, okay, we're going to make however many you're going to make. I don't know, like 50 in total or whatever it is. And you go, okay, we're going to need 50 engines, but we've not sold 50 cars yet. So how is that a tricky balance with the suppliers?
No, like the car, for example, are all sold, but we don't receive all the money in advance. So for this reason, you need to be good with your cash flow.
Yeah.
Because I can't produce an order 50 engine at the moment. It's impossible. So you need to build like 2 or 3 every time.
Yeah. Has it been tricky getting the car to the point where you can pre-assemble everything, take it apart, spray it, put everything back in, perfect? That must be tricky.
Yeah, especially it's happened with the last car that, for example, all assembled, everything done, ready to the delivery. We normally do some kilometer, like depending on the car, but for the electric less, but for the petrol, we do 200 kilometer before to deliver to the customer, and the fuel tank had some problem. So disassemble everything.
Oh yeah.
Everything.
Try not to scratch the paint, put it all back in again. Yeah. Yes. Tricky.
So that is very complicated. It's a part of our job, my job, that I'm very into the production of the car, and every day I'm trying to understand how to test the components before the start the car. But this is very expensive because you need to build a lot of tools, a lot of things, and sometimes you can't. So.
Yeah. It sounds like an almighty headache building cars.
Yeah, a lot. But, so for this reason, I'm obliged to work day and night to try to solve the problem for my employers.
Yeah. Well, they look very cool. I'm sure they're pretty fun to drive. Have you got any ideas? Obviously, you're working on this track version. Is there a plan down the line for like would do something completely different, or focusing at the moment very much on getting these cars delivered, built?
Yeah, so 90% is delivered the car because we have a waiting list of 3 years and now. So the customer, I need to make sure that they're happy with me and with us. So that is very important for me. We're developing this too. When the other 5%, and another 5% I'm using for to develop a new car. So totally new car that we presented in 2027 or less, but I can't say.
Yeah. No worries. Similar sort of thing?
So it's the purpose of Totem is always take from the past inspiration to build the future. So this is the purpose.
Something
of
historic, modernized, looking cool.
I really want to build something that is work a lot with carbon fiber for the dampers, the suspension, a very good research for new materials This is very important for me at the moment. And I think it's very cool. It's add some material on a car that nobody uses.
I'm interested to see what comes out of Totem in the future. So I normally wrap these up with 5 questions. Do you have a most memorable driving trip or journey?
Probably in my place we have a lot of lakes and a lot of mountains during the Alps. So when there is not a lot of people, it's nice.
Yes.
So I can say probably close to Passo Giao, close to Cortina. It's very nice.
Yeah,
that is close to the Dolomiti.
Yeah,
in Venice, in Veneto. Sorry.
Yeah. And presumably it was pretty cool the first time you had a car that you've designed and been involved with, like driving it for the first time. Was that must have been quite cool?
Yeah, the first time that I drove our car was a mess. So it was not a good moment for me.
Yeah.
And I don't know how many parts to be brought something that way.
Oh, yeah.
So yes, so it's not nice.
Not that one. Fair enough.
Now I start to enjoy. Like I spend a weekend close to Alba to do some tests with one of our car. It was nice, really nice. Now I start to enjoy my trip with the cars.
You don't have to worry so much. If you could only drive one sports car for the rest of your life, what would it be?
Yeah, the Citroen Berlingo.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Is my car. I have a Citroen Berlingo. And please, you can change everything in my life except my Citroen Berlingo.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Because it's the perfect car in the world. You can put a lot of parts.
Yeah.
So I can put a sofa or a bed.
Yep.
I can sleep in my Berlingo. I can put an engine on the rear. When I want to go out with my friends, drink something, I don't need to use my car because maybe we are 4 people. So I can't use my Berlingo because there is only 3 seats. So I can't drink without any rust. It's the perfect car.
Yeah. No,
it's
nice.
white, it's anonymous, nobody stop you, the police doesn't care.
Just do your thing.
You can park everywhere with a hazard, with a Italian style. That's it.
I like it. What do you think is the most undervalued car? What do you think should be worth more money?
In my opinion, and this probably is all people will hate me, but all the car, I really don't know why are not so expensive. Like now the car are very expensive anyway, but how they can reduce the price that way? It's crazy because building a car and then selling at 500, 600, 700, and we are trying to save €1 is impossible for us. I don't know how they are producing car like and selling, I don't know, a Fiat at €30,000. I know that is expensive, but I really can't understand.
No, it's impressive. And all cars.
I know that all people say, oh, the car is so expensive, it's impossible, etc. But if I think very well, it's super cheap. If I need to build the same, impossible.
Yeah, so a big company, they might spend, as you say, like $500 million developing a small car, whereas like obviously you can't spend $500 million making 50 cars.
I'm thinking about Maserati. Maserati are not selling a lot of cars. How they can survive? And it's very complicated, the car industry, especially in the last years, because probably they should make it a car a little bit more simpler. The electric approach is super expensive. It's very expensive, and probably, for example, we are selling the electric at the same price of the petrol, but to us cost the same, because the components on the electric market, it's very expensive too. And how they can do, and people don't want the electric car, so at the same time costs more the petrol. It's all really, really complicated. So
right, got two more questions.
Yeah.
Most interesting car to you at the moment? What you might be looking up, Googling, technology, I don't know.
Can I replay Citroen Berlingo? Honestly, I don't know. There was a Hyundai, I don't remember the name, that I really say, oh, this is nice. Was an electric Hyundai. The van.
Yeah. It's is it called? They're all called Ionics. Is it an Ionic 9 or something? It's like the big one that's just come out.
Yeah, I saw some video on that car. I say, wow, there are some features on that car that are very comfortable.
Yeah. Right. Final question. 5-car garage, unlimited value. So what 5 cars would you have? It's got to fit into your life.
5 Citroen Berlingo.
You got your Berlingo. And then what else?
No. Okay. Let's put a Totem.
Yep. Which one? Crazy one or?
The electric. I put the electric. Yeah. Then why not? My competitor, of course, because I need to understand.
Yeah.
The single BLS.
Yes.
That is true. Probably only old cars, not new cars. So probably we put a Jaguar E-Type.
Nice.
Because I love the design of Jaguar. Probably, I know that it's common, but the Ferrari 250 GTO.
Very nice.
And maybe an Aston Martin DB5, DBS from 1970.
Yeah.
So
nice.
Maybe
that'd be cool.
That period. I love that period. Sorry.
Yeah.
It's my period for me.
Yeah, totally.
I really love the 60s, and in the 60s up to 70s, probably we had the best design ever. And that was the moment of the best design. And probably we never had a better design period, in my opinion.
Yeah, it's a certain type, isn't it? Like when I see something like a 250 short wheelbase, it's just like, I don't know whether I can beat that. It's just a great looking car.
The 33 Stradale, the Jaguar E-Type are always beautiful cars.
Yeah.
And you can put technology, you can put this. There is no comparison between that cars.
Yeah, they're very cool. Very cool. Right. Thank you very much for coming on the podcast.
Okay, thank you.